Like, and I feel like that's the biggest thing people don't realize. Like, you watching all these shows, you start living them. Like, that's really what you. Now you the messy person.
Shade room culture then took over your life. Hola, hola. You know what it is, baby. It's that. It's that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. J.U. Kingmeechyyy in here. J.U. co-host Kingmeechyyy. Hola. How y'all doing, man?
Shit, I'm doing pretty good, man. Me and E2, we going crazy.
Facts, man.
What day is it? Thursday?
Thursday the 23rd, ain't it?
It is. How you feeling today, man?
Pretty good, man. Just a few weeks closer to being on somebody's beach somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Feeling great.
I like how you brought in the Spanish, because, like, we know black, we Dominican, for real.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We fucks with our south of the border peoples, you know what I'm saying? The north of the borders, too, you know. I be seeing the Canadian views, the, shit, we got the Laos views, the Cambodian views, the UK views, you know what I'm saying? We fuck with everybody, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, we really don't be discriminating. We really don't. But we do discriminate against some things. We definitely do. And that one of those things is the term and, like, the age of this whole phase. If you get what I mean. Like, I feel like, especially with this generation, everybody talk about just get out your whole phase, or you need to go through a whole phase, then you can settle down. I feel like that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, ever. Like, how you gonna have a whole phase and then expect to settle down? Like, how do you go from fucking multiple men, like, on a month-by-month basis, and then choose one?
mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the logic's just not there.
Yeah, I think what happens is, like, it comes from, like, the older girls that had all these experiences, and then they become the role models for the younger ones. And, like, guys, we do it too. The younger guys, we tell guys, like, oh, you need to get this out of your system and do that. But to me, it's like, once you start, that's when you fuck up for real. Like, you open that door to promiscuity, that's really where you fuck up, because now you feel like you need to try this and try that, and you feel like you need experiences because you feel like everybody around you's fucking, especially growing up, especially being like a adolescent or a teenager or whatever. You feel like everybody around you's fucking, and like it's usually like the people that have both their parents in their life, they're usually less likely to get into it. But nowadays, as soon as your child goes to school with other kids, like, they picking up on things from other people's houses and learning things. So, but as far as like whole phase in general, I think it's just like it's like a bad excuse. It's really a coat for, like, your bad choices and behavior, to be honest, especially as a woman. Like, men, we're never going to get as much flack for doing it and going through it, because it does take skill. It takes skill to be able to fuck with a lot of girls, to even have a whole phase as a man. It does take some skill. Now, not that much skill, because I am learning, like, a lot of the women that you can get when you're younger, and whether it's like even meeting them in person, and you're still of school age, or like just going out to clubs, like, a lot of those women are the lower quality women. So a lot of times, men, we waste our time trying to get experience with those women, when really that experience isn't gonna help us with the type of woman we actually want.
That is very so true. But I like how you said that, because I look at it like, man, even if a man does go through a whole phase, it's only gonna kind of help him for the simple fact men need experience. Because really, what comes with experience? Hardships. Like, and that's what it is. Like, I'm not saying they need experience to get other women. They need experience just so they can go through shit. Because I feel like them going through stuff is just gonna make them, like, a better man at the end of the day.
It will, but it can also damage you a lot. I'm like, as far as like, yes, experience in general in life is definitely good. Hardship is good. Struggle is good for a man. But sexual experience is not really as important as people make it out to seem to be today. And like, just from myself, even being through a lot of like sexual experiences, like, I can tell you, like, it's definitely overrated, because you gotta think, like, your most, like, perfect woman and like the woman that you would really want the best, she probably wouldn't have too much experience anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wouldn't have too much experience, so you wouldn't really need that much experience. It's like y'all would be coaching and learning together, you know? Which that's something even more beautiful. Like, that's something I wish I could have experienced.
I was about to say, that sounds beautiful. You just explained, that sounds very beautiful. Like, y'all learning together. Like, if y'all were both, like, virgins. And
yeah. Like, it sounds beautiful, but, you know, that's not a realistic reality for most people. Because, like, you probably are going to have one or two sexual experiences just based on, like, your culture and what you are, like, brought up with.
That is very so true. Even the good girls, they still probably got like one or two bodies, like or they're gonna say it was a mistake, blah blah blah, but it still happened. It definitely still happened.
And like a good example is like, I mean, like we all want throat goats and shit like that, but you understanding how a woman even becomes a throat goat is she learned from another nigga. Now I'm saying, so do you want your girl as soon as you meet her, she giving you the best head you ever had? You like, you know how many times she had to suck dick just to even get that skillful? So
that is very so true. See, but most men, they don't even like looking at it that way because it's kind of disgusting if we're really being honest. Just picturing your girl sucking another nigga dick, like it definitely a very much so a turn off. And like same with sex, and it's the same with sex. Like your girl is extremely good at sex. Think about how many times
exactly
she did it. Damn.
Now, if you have a more experienced woman, yeah, she's gonna want an experienced guy because she already knows what she wants. She ain't trying to have to tell a nigga really what to do to make her feel good. Know what I'm saying? But if you are an unexperienced guy, you should look for women of your caliber, which are gonna be more so unexperienced women.
Definitely. And I feel like that's a big one, especially like this is a personal example for me. Like I lost my virginity to like an experienced woman, so like it wasn't good. Like if you get what I mean, like it wasn't good for my like personal development.
Hell yeah.
If you get what I mean, like
men, if you like, I wouldn't blame anybody. Like I chased experience and things like that. I wouldn't blame you for going through that, but just if you're smart, you'll let a nigga like me be the example for you to understand, like, you don't really have to do that. You should be more so focused on yourself and working on yourself because you have the whole rest of your life to have sex, however much sex you want, especially when you become insanely rich and successful because you weren't worried about what other people think and people was calling you virgin. I ain't saying be like a 40-year-old virgin. Like, hopefully you, like, you know what I'm saying, at least by 30, you touch something or found a nice girl that you might want to marry or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like, don't really let it give you like insecurities or anxiety because you aren't the most experienced dude.
definitely, because at the end of the day, you should go for women that are the same experience as you. For the simple fact, it's definitely going to be more beautiful and it's going to be less pressure. Like you trying to like sexually please someone and you're a virgin and she has multiple bodies, it probably not going to be the best, and that's just facts.
Yeah, I mean, because especially if she really ran through. I mean, she's not going to be as sensitive if she's one of those girls that use a rose every day and all that shit. Like,
definitely. And then you're going to wonder why she's so promiscuous or like why she's still fucking niggas on the side. Because I feel like a lot of men I've seen it, especially in high school, like when the kind of lover boy goes and cuffs the hoe. Like, I'm not gonna mention no names, but there was a guy that did that in my school. Like, he cuffed the hoe and she cheated, like got a train ran on her, and it was one of those phone call type shits. Like he called her and she was getting a train ran on her type shit, and then now he going to school the next day mad at everybody. Just like, why didn't you tell me she was hoe? My nigga, we been told you she was a hoe. You still cuffed the joint though, so that's really your fault. Like,
now I say, like, yeah, if you're gonna be out here fucking with these modern women, you're gonna need some experience and you're gonna need some game, because it is a lot of different levels of manipulation and shit going on when it comes to that, and like, you're gonna have to be able to adjust to that, and part of adjusting to that is having that experience and shit like that.
That is very so true. And with manipulation, like, we all manipulate. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think we all do to a certain extent. Sometimes people don't even know. I think part of our purpose and part of like our whole reason of being here is to manipulate energies in general, like just the energies of the world and stuff like that. But as far as like people, person to person, yeah, I think a lot of times we do it without even knowing that's what we're doing. It doesn't even have to be vocal sometimes. Sometimes body language can be manipulated.
That is so true. And I feel like it's so important to watch, like, if you are being manipulated and how.
Mm-hmm.
For the simple fact, I feel like I agree, we all do a little manipulation. Like, even when it comes down to us, like, just little shit we probably might not even pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's still, like, manipulation.
Yeah, man, you gotta understand, like, you're being programmed every day by something, like, and if it is like a partner you have and you're with them a lot, they're subconsciously programming you and you're subconsciously like programming them. And like it could just be like the most smallest of manipulations. Like a lot of times women, they're not gonna tell you everything about them when you first meet them. They're gonna hide little details and like say things in ways that hide part of the truth and stuff like that. And all of that is like subtle manipulation. Same with dudes, whether it's a dude that's acting like he got the best head game in the world or whatever, like saying little things, like those are like the lower levels of manipulations that I think are pretty much like, it's like what we kind of accept in the world and just dealing with people. And then it's like goes to the high end of the spectrum where you have gaslighting and you have people getting people to do things or change their ways by using different means, whether it's like threats or whatever, just getting somebody to really do what you want them to do, and you're using words and like changing their thinking and stuff like that. Like that's basically like just the different degrees of the manipulation between like partners.
Definitely. And I'm glad you brought up gaslighting, because that's a big term everybody loves to say, oh, you're gaslighting me, oh, you're gaslighting me. Mm-hmm. In reality, I feel like most of these people don't really be getting gaslit for real. Like, they just like using the word. But there is like a lot of it going around. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes down to like these, I feel like it's more so toxic relationships though. Like if you really get gaslit, it's not, you're probably not in a regular, or it's a joking way. Like, you know how like we all mess around and say jokes with our friends, blah blah blah, like, or trying to get them to do something. Like, it's manipulation, but I don't think it goes that far as gaslighting. If you get what I mean. Yeah,
because gaslighting is more of you're literally making the person question their sanity. Like true gaslighting, like somebody, they really are questioning their reality and their sanity because they, like, boom, like say you got a girl, like a lot of times this is how women get gaslit. They catch their man cheating, they have red hand evidence, but the dude's still denying it, and he's trying to make her feel like she's crazy about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where like the most of like the mainstream gaslighting comes from. And then we also have women that do the same thing to men, but women, they're just so more so sneaky about it, of how they'll try to like, boom, say you don't want your girl wearing a certain outfit, and now you have good reasons about it. Maybe you think the place she's going has bad energy and that outfit can bring certain energy, and you just want her to be safe. But she's like, oh no, you're insecure, you're just worried about another dude trying to talk to me and blah 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 blah. And you understand the thing that, no, I am a sane man. I understand that men in this world, they're going to try to talk to you whether I want you to or not. And you might be the most like loyal girl. You could be the most loyal girl, but you know how they say, just because you know a Lamborghini got the best locking system ever, are you going to leave it in the hood? Hell no. You know what I'm saying?
That is very so true. And I feel like women gaslight more than men. Because I feel like every time they say you're insecure, like that's their biggest thing. Oh, you're insecure.
I believe that's trying to manipulate you and gaslight you every time. Because now you're questioning your reality, you're questioning your principles and everything.
Hey, that exact situation you explained literally happened to me. Like the whole dress, like Shawty was trying to wear a red dress. I remember it vividly, and it was wild. I was like, "Where the fuck are you going?" And like, nah, I didn't say where. I was like, where are you going? She was like, oh, I'm just going out with friends, blah blah blah. And I was thinking like, nah, like you need to change, cause like it was a like short, like a very like it was a thought dress. I was like, I'm not really feel comfortable with you wearing it. She was like, oh, you're being insecure, blah blah blah. And then I started thinking,
You start questioning yourself.
Am I being insecure?
Exactly.
Like, hell no, that shit was a thought ass dress. Like, simple as that. And then she got her fucking chicken head friends boosting her up like, oh, don't let him tell you what to wear, blah blah blah.
And usually they be like single friends. I don't understand why women. Exactly, like that's the last person ever to take relationship advice from is a single woman. Literally, the last one.
Simple, because the whole time they probably trying to get your man for themselves.
They probably want your man, and they probably jealous of what you have, and they want you right where they are. Misery loves company, and it's just something like if you're a woman you watching, it's something you need to watch out for. You know what I'm saying? If you're a single woman, you know, watch what the stuff you say, because you being all angry and bitter and shit like that, that shit can like it's gonna prevent you from ever being happy. You know.
Exactly, and I don't care what you say. Nobody wants a bitter woman. Like,
you should be asking your friend, her man got homies and stuff like that. That's good niggas, especially if you see your friend getting treated well.
That is very so true. That is very so true. Instead of like being bitter or trying to like low key sabotage the relationship.
And then exactly, and that's how women manipulate their friends. Literally, is by trying to like boost them into doing some shit that's gonna fuck up their relationship, and now they got manipulated into being a single bitch again.
Exactly. Now it's y'all both just two single bitches.
I literally got a perfect example of that, like of how like early on in my relationship, my shorty could have been single. Literally, we was in DC at a protest, and her friends that she ain't friends no more. I had nothing to do with their friendship falling out, but like literally, they was on a like we was all walking and stuff at the protest. I had some of my homies with them. Her friends decided to get on the back of these random niggas' cars, like some fucking thoughts would do. And me, I didn't tell my girl don't go on there. I didn't tell her she could. I just kind of was watching to see what she'll do, because this was early on and me talking to her still and trying to gauge what type of woman she is. And her friends like trying to call her and tell her to go hop on the car, but I was like literally standing beside my brother, and I was telling him like, if she goes and gets on that car, she going back to Richmond single. And I literally told him that, but she didn't get on the car. She just came back and walked with me, and her friends rode off with the fucking random niggas. You know what I'm saying? And that proved to me like, okay, like this, like she can make good choices even when her friends are trying to like manipulate her into fucking this shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, and that was a great choice to make, because a lot of people would have just went or would have asked. Like I feel like just asking would have been kind of disrespectful too.
Because it just, you don't understand the caliber and quality of man I am at that point. You even think that it's a question. You know what I'm saying? Like some things is like even the question is manipulating in some sense. Now I'm saying it's disrespectful in some sense. It's like a girl asking you, to me, is literally no difference than, oh, can I go fuck this other dude? Like it's the same quality of question to me.
It is, and I feel like that's another thing. Women don't understand that either. Like there are dumb questions to ask. There are legit dumb questions to ask, because all you got to do is think about it for a hot minute. Just think, what I want. What do I think he will want me to get in a random truck, in a random back of a truck with these random people and drive off and leave him? Would that be the smartest thing I can do in that situation?
That if you want to be a single bitch, it's the smartest thing you can do, literally. But if you want to be in a relationship with a nigga like me, like it's nah, like I don't know them niggas, one, and two is like I'm back here walking with my homies. I like to be an example for how to like carry a relationship when it comes to my homies. So they would have seen it. Like they would have, like if she would have got on that car, literally we would have turned around, we would have walked back to our cars and came back to VA single. She would have been texting the nigga trying to see what the nigga doing, and hey, you got no reply. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, she possibly would have got a reply, but it would have been like your candidacy to be my girlfriend just failed. Now it'd been like string you along, maybe fuck you till I'm done type shit.
Exactly. Like, and that's all. But that's all it could ever be. Same with, I feel like going to clubs and stuff. Like, too many clubs is not good. Like, it, that's why I feel like if you do have single friends, let them know. I feel like letting them know beforehand. Like, hey, well, really, she shouldn't have been doing that stuff like too much before.
Yeah.
But like, let's say they do occasionally like to go to the club every now and again. That shit has to stop immediately. Like, and that's if she don't got a lot of bodies and shit. But like, that shit has to stop immediately. Like, some going out, and it's not men being insecure or trying to be controlling. It's just a respect thing. Like, so much about relationships is showing your partner respect.
It's showing your respect and it's understanding. If I'm going out, if I'm wearing certain things, I am advertising myself for certain energies. And to me, it's not me. I kind of like, I will set my boundaries and stuff like that. But even I don't even like really like being too hard on saying like, oh, do this and do that and type shit. I want to see what you want to do. I want to see like what you actually want to do, because that's gonna tell me like what type of woman that you are, instead of me trying to like be so strict on it. I don't really have a problem with dudes that are like really hard on it, like, no, don't go out, don't do this, don't do that, like, and they just set their boundaries because they not even trying to see what a bitch gonna do. They just want to make sure a bitch don't do it. I understand that. Me, I'm more so the type to, I want to see if you want to go out. You already know I don't want you out in the club talking to dudes, twerking on niggas and things like that. But so it's like, the more like, if you're doing it and you're going on frequent, like you're going on frequent occasions, and it's just like, it's the less respect and less value I'm gonna have towards you. Like, nah, I'm saying that's just what it is.
That is true, and I feel like it's so important. Like, granted, you should at least tell the girl up front, like, what's your boundaries and stuff. But you have to let her choose. Like, you have to not necessarily put her in opportunities, but the opportunity is going to present itself.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you're going to see, like, what kind of girl she actually is. And when that comes, you just got to watch. Like, just watch, because I promise you, it's always going to show. Like, if she's going out to clubs and blah, 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 she knows you don't like that shit, she has to get cut. Simple as that. She has to get cut.
Yeah, you definitely, because you got to be strict about it, because like your boundaries and standards, they are definitely a part of your program at the same time, and you gotta have those things in place. You know what I'm saying, whether you really strict on it, I do think she needs to know, like, yo, he doesn't like me going to these places. Yeah. So, and he doesn't, especially if I'm there, like, to me, it's like certain things, like, I don't know, say it's a fucking Thursday, it's a friend birthday, and they going to a fucking more of like a bar spot or a food place or something like that. Like, those things are cool, but if you're like literally you going to the most jumping club, like, I say like, boom, main stage closed, then we talk about that. Like if you're sure they trying to go down the fucking main stage, I say like, to me that's a no go. You understand that the energies, because that's like a more so a spot that's really, really lit. Know what I'm saying? A lot of people be there, and you already know the energies there is more so like hood vibes and stuff like that. It's like, why would you want something that you hold value to be left out in the fucking open like that around? Especially, it also depends on the type of friends you have. You really want your girl to have friends that are also in relationships, so they doing like relationship girls type stuff together, like brunch and working out together and going to parks and shit like that. Like, that's the type of stuff you want your girl doing more so.
Exactly. And for y'all that don't know, main stage is a club, and it be jumping. It do be jumping. But I promise you, if your girl is going to main stage, you might as well leave her ass. Simple as that. For the simple fact, it's a legit club. So like, people are literally like this close. Like, sometimes. So somebody's gonna touch your girl without even like possibly needing to.
And then she coming home drunk with all these energies from, even if she didn't mess with no dude or twerk with no dude, she didn't rock some energies from that space home too, and that's another thing.
Definitely. And especially if she drunk, she probably did end up twerking on the nigga. Like,
yeah. And the thing is, you'll never know. That's like, she could You'll never know unless somebody dare tell you, because like her friends obviously ain't gonna tell you, and that's another like manipulating, gaslighting type thing women like to do. They'll be like, "No, you can ask my friend. I ain't did," because your friend gonna fucking lie. Just like a nigga friend. A nigga friend is nothing different from a female friend. They're gonna lie. They're gonna lie for them.
Definitely. Unless you were there watching her the entire time, you can't believe nothing she said.
Facts.
Especially if she's drunk, because I don't know about y'all, like, girls, every girl does handle their liquor differently, but it's different. Like, when I say it's different, some girls really get wild, like, and that's just how it is.
And they use the liquor as an excuse, you know what I'm saying? And that's just not the type of girl you want. You want a girl that's more so got that personal responsibility and accountability, and just wouldn't even put herself in those type of positions, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, those are the things that are going to protect your empire, to where you don't have to worry about just shit that you shouldn't have to worry about, especially when it comes to women. Like, nigga, you trying to build your empire, you got this, and that, and the third going on. You not trying to be having to be fucking bird's eye view to make sure your bitch ain't doing nothing stupid.
You can't. You don't gotta. It's too much energy going out. You're gonna need that energy. Like, it's too much watching her, checking on her, making sure she's not doing anything. It can get too stressful.
Facts.
But boom, as we were just talking about, like, main stage, like, I was definitely having cordial, like, relations with this girl, and that definitely went to main stage. And you know me being the pimp that I am, I wasn't really tripping, because technically it wasn't really my girl, so I felt like I couldn't trip about shit. She said it was some kind of thing where she was going out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, blah blah blah. Boom. And yeah, she was drunk. And then I didn't know anything happened at that stage. I didn't ask. Because, you know, I was just thinking she got drunk with her friends. Probably twerked on her friends, blah, blah, blah. You know,
Best case scenario.
Yeah, best case scenario. Literally. No, that's why it's fucked up. Because that's literally the best case scenario. She twerked on her friends. That's the best one. That's if you got a good girl. Like, the best girl. That goes to main stage. Boom. Come to find out months later down the line, she was twerking on niggas in the main stage. Like, when I say, I was like,
how you find out though?
Alright, we was smoking one day.
She brought it up.
Yes, and she tweaked herself. Women, they always tell on themselves. Every single trip they gonna tell on themselves. Bro, cause it was something. And I kind of got an inclination too. I kind of did get an inclination. Cause she was talking and she said, oh yeah, there wasn't a lot of guys pulling up on us, blah blah blah, in main stage. And like, it wasn't, and she kind of felt, or she said they were just older guys, because you know there'd be older people in main stage. She was like, oh, it was just much older guys. And then I stopped. I was like, why would she want guys to pull up on her? Like, because you know she wants the attention, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Boom. And then she said something, and it was like, so I was like, you was twerking on niggas? Like, I'm pretty sure I just asked. Or like, she was like, and she paused.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
She trying to remember. She was like, how many was it?
Literally. And she was like, oh, it was only for a little bit though. Just like a little bit, and then I'll push them off. I was hurt, bro. I was so hurt. Because how do you little bits work on a nigga? Like, it's either you did it or you didn't, bitch.
Yeah. And it's like, to me, like, I even understand, like in certain other cultures, like, it, like, that's just how people, like, dance with each other. But to me, it's like, dudes, like, we always gonna be territorial. We not gonna want any girl that can bring us right to our next topic, like the high value women. Like, any girl that we hold value to, we're not gonna want her to be touched by other dudes, know what I'm saying, at all. Like, no, what is like you said, like, what the fuck is a little twerk, know what I'm saying? Like, your butt area was on his fucking pelvis area, know what I'm saying? To me, that's is no coming back from that, know what I'm saying? Because you gotta have that no tolerance policy, and I think that's why it took so long for that to slip out, is because she probably knew you wasn't gonna be fucking with that shit, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes like, oh, I got enough respect to not tell them, but I don't respect just to not do the shit at all, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's what it was. That's literally what it was. Like, she had enough respect not to tell me at the moment, but not enough respect not to do it. But like, you know the signs though. Like, Like, I knew like this girl wasn't like cuff material. Like, it just couldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, she went to main stage.
Exactly.
Like that's like your girl. You shouldn't want your girl in the most fucking popping like regular people type clubs. Nah, I'm saying like it just it's a bad look, especially if she's frequenting those places. Like literally, even if she goes there one time, like most like a dude like me, I can discern from the girl that like, oh, it's her friend's birthday and she rarely comes out versus the one that's always here type shit. Like I can peep that, but most dudes when they drunk, all the girls look the same. They all look like they all come to main stage all the time. So niggas gonna be pulling up right and left. They're not expecting for it to be girls that's in a relationship, even in the building that's not with their dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. And you want to know what's crazy? The girl she went with was in a relationship too, but they was in an actual relationship, like an actual relationship. I want to tell him, you probably got cheated on that night too, my nigga, because he was mad about something. Because she made the comment they both got in trouble that night. Because I was mad at her for some whole other shit like that night. So like she made that comment, so she probably was doing stuff in the main stage too. I forgot the girl name. If so, yeah. Ooh, I was snitch. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like see. It was just even like, but you knew that's where she was going before she went type shit.
Nah. Like maybe like a couple hours. It wasn't like some shit that was playing like, hey, we going to main stage Saturday night type shit.
Yeah, but you knew like before she walked in there type shit that she was going there.
Before
yeah, she walked in there. I don't know. Like to me, it's like you know she about to put herself in the position. That's the red flag in itself.
Yeah.
To me. As guys like the Islanders, us up here, we should definitely like strive for better. You know, the woman that we're fucking with than just like one junks that's worried about the attention from other guys they get in. Like that's how you end up like Steph Curry, and he had his wife talking about she missed the looks and the like getting attention from men and shit. You remember that shit?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's really hard to tell. Like before she said that, Aisha Curry, before she even said that, everybody thought, oh, like she's a quote unquote high value woman. But I think, like as far as like a woman being high value, that's for the man to determine. I think most guys they want a good looking woman that's pretty much pure and not ran through and touched and with a brain and able to cook and take care of your children and stuff like that, also play a good role for you. But I think it's going to be definitely a different definition for that for every dude.
Definitely, and that's a good thing because my definition of a high value woman, it's not more so looks. Because we was talking about today. Like I seen this girl at the gym. She was very beautiful. Not gonna lie, but it becomes a point where like every girl is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, what sets her aside? And I feel like it has to be her mindset. That's high value to me. Like if a girl has the same mindset as me, like trying to accomplish something, maybe not trying to be rich, like because me, I'm rich right now, but like maybe just want something out of life.
Want something out of life. I also think being very, very, very feminine, that's also like a valuable quality in a woman, because usually being feminine, that's gonna equate to them having the kind of mindset that you can mold them to kind of being what you want in. I think her also wanting something out of life is also good because it gives her like a sense of purpose, and it gives her like a now she has an inclination to want to do something that's more than just sit on Instagram and scroll and look at other people's lives and shit like that, like most other women want to do. Because a lot of women, they don't have a sense of like wanting to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like we, especially like this day and age where we have the social media and all this shit, and then we have the single moms that are letting the iPads and TV raise the kids while they're in the other room with the other single mom, and they just looking to see what Krishan doing and what the fuck going on the baddies Northwest and all that shit.
That's I feel like what a lot of women do in general, and I feel like those are the women you want to stay away from. Like, granted, I feel like it is feminine nature to like want to see drama. It's like drama stuff. Like,
yeah.
They do like that, but it has to be very so limited. Maybe drama that's not so drama filled, if you get what I mean. You know, there's drama in everything. Like in gym communities, there's drama, and like fitness, whatever, any kind of other area on social media. Like maybe try to get them away from rap drama into better drama that's gonna help their lives. Like gym, I feel like gym drama would be better than watching Krishan and
and I think like what you're kind of trying to say is like you women, they're definitely about drama, they're definitely about gossip, but it's more positive ways to see like everything don't gotta be always so negative and so detrimental for like especially like the black community. Like a lot of the drama and stuff we watch is like detrimental, like they watching women fighting and stuff like that. Like I think women, they just want that emotional experience, so they could watch stuff that's more so like love stories and still get like the same fulfillment that they're getting from watching the bullshit. But it's like, and even the women fighting and all that stuff, the main reason why it's so bad because it's like I said when we talk about the manipulation, like we're getting programmed constantly, and women don't understand that watching those things, they're getting programmed to be more so like the women they're watching on the shows and stuff like that.
Definitely. And you got to think about it. If you're watching it, you know your friends are watching it too. That's what y'all probably talking about. Y'all talking about the latest gossip. Oh, what happened on Love and Hip Hop? Blah, blah, blah. And those are your conversations you're having. So when that shit starts to manifest in your life, don't be mad. like, and I feel like that's the biggest thing people don't realize. Like, you watching all these shows, you start living them. Like, that's really what you. Now you the messy person.
Shade room culture then took over your life, and like shout out to those like small niche groups of women, like the women that work out together. That's like a good community for women. Women in tech, you know what I'm saying? I be seeing like a lot of black women in like tech and investing in community, and they all kind of like be coming together and stuff. You got women that create content, they all like come together and stuff. And I think like those are more positive outlets. Usually those type of women, they're not really paying attention to the stuff that's going on Zeus. They might be watching, they started still watching TV and movies and shit, but a lot of the conversation becomes different to where like women, no matter who they are, I don't care. It can be a group of political women. They're gonna talk about drama and gossip, but now like the tech women, they also have fucking Web3 and coding and cybersecurity to talk about too, included with the drama and stuff. Or the fitness woman, they're talking about how to get their abs and these different exercises, supplements and things like that, included with the drama and stuff like that. So it provides more so of a balance for them.
Definitely. You hit it. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Like it's providing substance. Like you're getting substance, not just. What substance do you get from watching Krishan and Blue? Did you see Blueface throw up?
Yeah, man. I didn't even see the video, but I seen a screenshot of it.
Yeah. It was funny. But, like, still, like, those are the stuff you really want to stay away from. Especially, like, watching loads of it. Because you're already going to see it. If you're even on social media, for instance, like Twitter, like, you can't even control the shit you see on Twitter. Like, at all. Like, so,
you can try to mute certain words, but a lot of stuff is still gonna pop up on your shit. Like,
and that you can mute words.
Yeah, you can. I seen like when a few months ago actually, like people kept saying like I'm muting the words Krishan and Blueface, but their shit was still popping up on their timeline and shit, which I think that's something Twitter got to work on. But yeah, I think the way to combat that is follow and like other things that you're interested in, and you'll show up more so often. Like if you got a lot of Twitter porn popping up on your TL, go through your likes. It's the reason why. It'll go through the stuff, and sometimes like you don't even have to like stuff. Twitter will put stuff on your shit that you just look at. So maybe you look at Twitter porn daily for maybe like 20-25 minutes a day. Even though you're not liking and retweeting this shit, they're gonna still put it on your shit because Twitter has 2 timelines now. They have the For You, and then they have the people you follow now. Exactly. And on that For You page, that's just all the stuff where they're getting like your data and from your analytics and stuff like that. That's what's gonna show up on that For You page. So whether you follow the shit or not, is whatever your phone makes it seem like you're interested in, that's gonna pop up
every single time. So that's why I say important of what you are consuming. Like consumption is very important because it's really going to be your reality at that point.
Yeah, because everything you consuming, that's your programming, and that's the when you understand that every day you're being programmed by shit, whether you like it or not. That's where you understand, like, you can start to control the things you consume and things you take in.
Definitely. That's why it's so important to have those good relationships in friends and in girlfriends. Like, if your girlfriend is talking all bullshit about drama, you're going to be the same way.
Exactly. And it's like, of course, like, you have a woman, she's going to talk about shit that you give zero fucks about. It's literally like, all right, you might have the fucking greatest baseball collection in the fucking world, but when you go talk to, like, if you meet a woman and the first thing you say is like, yeah, I have this great baseball collection at my house, you need to see, she's gonna be like, what the fuck, why are you fucking weirdo, like, why are you, like, women don't care about it. And I think, like, with your woman is gonna be the same thing, but a lot more. It's gonna be a lot more stuff that you give zero fucks about. But as long as just being a man, you know, sometimes you gotta guide the conversation from the bullshit and get her to talk about more so, like, stuff with substance sometimes.
Definitely. But since you did bring that up, what do women want? Like, what do they want to hear? Like, if they don't want, when you brought up the baseball analogy,
oh, what do they want to hear?
Yeah.
Something they want to hear about they want to see your looks, and they want to more so hear about what do you do, so they can give you a value based off that. Now, if you say, I don't know, you run some kind of baseball trading card software, some shit like that, now that's different, because now they're not gonna understand the value of the cards itself. Like, if you just start talking like, oh yeah, I have a Babe Ruth rookie card and this and that and the third, like, maybe if she grew up liking baseball, she might know a little something about that and maybe be interested. But your most average airhead woman, she don't want to hear about that shit. She want to hear about something that's gonna make her fucking stomach tickle and give her butterflies. Know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? What you got going on? And shit, you know what I'm saying? You really don't even want to tell her too much. You want to kind of get her to talk about the things she like, and then you start making not saying just be funny and ask her, like, just seem interested. Know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a big thing. Like, most people don't even understand, like, the best way to be an interesting person is to be interested. You know what I'm saying? And to be interested in what other people and the stuff they got going on. Because when you seem really interested, you're really hitting those emotions.
I like that. That was just a little snippet for me. I needed that. Boom. But back to this high value woman thing, because that's what we're talking about. So, what do you think men need to do to get these high value women? Because you already said that most of the women we see in the clubs, they're not high value. So getting those, they're not going to be good practice for getting a higher quality woman, because it's going to be so different. So, and the parameters are going to be different. So what do men need to do to get these higher value women?
I think it's one understanding that nobody's perfect, but that doesn't mean it's like, boom, you set your standards high, but your expectations don't have too much expectations out of the shit, because you understand that 95% of these women ain't shit. Like I said last time, it might be only 5 out of 100 that are even a candidate, and then it's only 1 out of that 5 that's gonna be good for you. So just understanding, like, the reality of the things and being realistic, but also just working on yourself. So, like, the highest version of yourself, those lower class, like, women, the low hanging fruit, the ones in the clubs, the ones on Tinder and all that bullshit, those women, the highest version of yourself wouldn't fuck with those women. It's just understanding that and being that selective dude, and also not being afraid to go outside and actually meet women in person and go, get global, becoming like a global person, so you can get a lot of different experiences and you will meet a lot of different women and be able to pick and choose. And also understanding that the man you are now might, like, the woman that you want in the future, it might be different from the woman you want now. Know what I'm saying? Just depending on where you are in your journey.
That's very so true. I like that. I like that a lot. So I feel like it's important. Like me, if I had to tell you how to meet those women, bro, it would literally just be work on yourself. Because I feel like once you get yourself to a certain standard, you can really get any out of those 100 women you want. Really,
Right.
what's men's problem now? Like they don't have options. Like you don't have a lot of options, so you just take what you can get. But once you build yourself to that standard, yeah, you gonna really have 100 different women, and you only can choose 5. Well, you only should choose 5, and then you vet it down from there. So I feel like the first you have to work on yourself, then to get those options. Cause right now, if you haven't, you're probably getting what you can get. Like as simple as that. Like you might shoot your shot at 10 different women, 5 of them gonna say no off rip. Like and then. So like you're just limiting yourself. I feel like you're just at such a limit with women. You can't be picky. Like beggars can't be choosers. Same with y'all. Like so, build yourself up to that point, and then do it, and then work your way down. That's the advice I can give.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Boom. And speaking of high value women, when it comes down to like the Western culture, like versus like other areas in the world, what do you think is the difference in the women?
I think more so is just the most places they have like stricter systems and stricter government, and a lot of things that aren't taboo over here anymore, they're still taboo in other places. Like you seen Uganda, which some people may say is a little extreme. They made be identifying as alphabets to be LGBTQ to be illegal. Nah, I'm saying.
Definitely.
So and to us, like in America, it's like, oh, what the fuck, that's crazy. Like, oh, the death penalty for that. But it's been like throughout history, like there's been cultures and things where stuff like that was seen as like unredeemable. So
Definitely. You probably get hung at the stake for doing some shit like that.
like I think America, we don't need to do that, but I just think going more so towards like just like how we was talking about last time, the traditional roles, that has a lot to do with it. And I think over here, like women tend to like, it's been such a big influence on degeneracy in America that now it's like damn near or nothing that's gonna be able to stop it, to where other countries, they really fight hard to not have that, whether it's like how China, they show their youth a different side of TikTok than our youth get. You have Russia where they have their strong masculine men over there, and like, well, so some of their females pretty strong too, you know what I'm saying? But it's like a feminine way of strong. Like Russian, that's just different. But the Middle East, you know, they are very strict on how their ways and cultures, and a lot of that's more so based on religion, because like we're like, Christianity is supposed to be a big part of our nation, but it seems like every day it becomes like a smaller and smaller part, which some people say that's good, some people say that's bad. Me, I just think Christianity is, I think it practiced correctly would be very good for our nation, but it's corrupt. Like just like most religions, it can be corrupted by man. I think man corrupts a lot of stuff, and I think the degeneracy in America is mostly based around money. It's like all these companies, they don't care what the fuck they push, whether it's drugs, bad media, death, and all these things that they push to the youth. It's just really all about money.
That is true.
And that leads to like that being the major differences between the woman in the West versus the Eastern nations.
Definitely. It's literally capitalism though. Like it's straight capitalism.
And it's like they have capitalism in other places, but it's just so reckless over here, like where you can't, there's certain things you can do over here in America that you can't do in other places. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it's governed more in other places than America. Like in America, we have freedom, but like we legit have freedom. That's basically what it is. But we took freedom to a whole nother extent. Like
and we keep taking it to a more and more extents to where, like literally, it should be to a point where we look ridiculous to other nations. You know what I'm saying?
That is so true. But that's a great point, because I do. Don't get me wrong. I understand America. It definitely has its flaws, but like I live here for the moment, so I gotta rep America kind of. And I don't like how people be talking bad about us, man. I really don't. Like the people from the UK. They be telling us we're dumb and shit. Like, have you ever seen one of those videos?
I haven't seen, but to me the UK is arguably worse than America, just because a lot of their degeneracy, like most of the other nations that are affected by like this mainstream American degeneracy, is because they follow after America. So it's like y'all really not know better over there. Y'all probably a little bit dirtier in most places and things like that. But no, I'm saying big love to the UK, but like y'all, like UK and America is like, as far as like how shitty and bad things are, like we fighting for the title of the shittiest place, to be honest. Like, and not to say like other countries don't have their things and flaws as well, but like they say it's how Rome fell by letting degeneracy run wild. You know what I'm saying? And like that's like it, and it makes sense. You can destroy a country very easily if you let sex, drugs, and alcohol become rampant between the youth and shit like that. And with all the technology and how forward we're moving, I don't think a lot of people are thinking about the effects it's gonna have 10, 15 years down the line.
Definitely. That's why I say I feel like a lot of people never think about the bigger picture. They're just so concerned about themselves.
Facts.
Like sometimes you gotta put your and I feel like that's what all the great empires did back in the day. Like they legit put like the Spartans. Like I love the Spartans because they legit put like themselves on the back burner in order for like the greater good. Like
the youth,
literally for the youth. They trained from youth, like for the betterment of their society. That's why they were so successful. Simple as that.
Facts. And you'll see like the best, the nations that are doing the best now, they are putting a big focus on making sure the children are straight, because they understand what the leaders today, they understand how shit was in America 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago. Now I'm saying they understand it only takes one fucking bad generation to really fuck shit up.
Exactly. That's why we said like inspire the youth, like teach the youth good things, like stop letting them be raised by iPads. Like do better.
Facts.
But that is the end of today's episode, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment, man.
Yes sir, man. Another beautiful episode, another beautiful day. It's March 23rd, know what I'm saying? Y'all seeing this is gonna be Friday. Definitely enjoy y'all weekend, but put that work in over the weekend too, man. The people that's gonna be doing the best 5 years from now is the ones that are taking the time to really put that work in on the weekends. Ain't worried about going out, doing this, doing that. And I say all that's cool every once in a while, but just understand it definitely will take away from your grind when you are participating in bullshit too often. You know what I'm saying?
That is very so true. And my birthday, March 29th, so I'm going to be participating in some bullshit.
Facts. Love y'all, baby.
Love y'all.
We out.